session on credit creation. The credit creation is a process is going to maximize the money supply in the market. It is the multiplier effect of money into the market. The major role is taken by the commercial banks. Basically, the commercial banks are involving with this particular process. It is by the basic function itself, they are doing the process of credit creation. The basic functions of a bank, it is accepting deposits and offering loans, are the very basic functions of the commercial banks. So whatever the money is collected from the public is going to be given in the form of loan, and the loan, it is expected that to be redeposited into a bank. It is not we are going to study this particular concept related to the particular bank. We are going to see about how this particular money circulation will be happen. The multiplier effect of deposit will be happen into the economic system is going to be studied in this particular topic, credit creation. Credit creation is nothing is a money creation. So how the money multiplier effect is there in the market, which is purely depends on the kind of deposits we have received from the public, and those deposits are going to be given in the form of loan. Not the entire amount of deposit is going to be given in the form of a loan after deducting a significant portion of money. It means after meeting out the legal requirement, reserve requirement, after that the remaining amount is going to be given in the form of a loan. So whatever the deposit is collected, a significant portion is kept for the future purpose. Whenever the customer is requesting for getting money from the bank, we need to pay, or demanding that we need to pay the money. After that, the remaining portion is going to be given in the form of a loan. So whatever the loan is disbursed, the loan account holders are expected to redeposit the same value of money into a bank. Again, with the same money that the bank is going to be given in the form of loan. So this particular process we call it as credit creation. So normally what we receive the primary deposits, and with the help of secondary deposits the money creation effects are happening. The secondary deposits are what we call it as a derivative deposits. What is derivative deposit? Is a redeposited amount by the loan account holders into a bank. So that the concept we call it as redeposited amount. It is a derivative deposits. So how long this process will be going on? Until the derivative deposits reaches the value of 0. This particular money creation will be going on. The concept will be taken care by the commercial banks for the creation of credit. Because there is kind of restrictions to the bank to keep on some portion of reserves as per the statutory requirements. So after meeting out this, the remaining portion is going to be given in the form of loan to the loan account holder. The loan account holders are expected that they are going to redeposit the same value of money into a bank. So it is purely, the creation of credit is purely based on few important parameters, like it is the legal reserve requirements, which is normally fixed in the credit policy. This credit policy is monitored by the Reserve Bank of India in it. You can take any central bank of a country is taking care of this legal reserve requirement. So that after the legal reserve requirement, whatever the residual portion is available, so that the residual portion is given in the form of a loan. So normally if you are receiving a deposit, you can take the assets and liabilities side. So normally we consider the deposits as a liability. Why it is a liability? At what the time that the customer is demanding the money, you are in the position to repay the amount. That is what the deposits are, the liabilities to the bank. Whereas you can take the loans or the assets to the bank, but once they are receiving the deposit, the liability side, you have the deposit of 100 rupee. Corresponding to that, the asset side, you have a cash of 100 rupees. So if you need to have the legal reserve requirement or the legal reserve ratio of 10%, or you can take it as a 20% legal reserve requirement. So whatever the deposit I have collected as 100 rupee, out of the deposit, the 20% should be kept in the form of reserve requirement. So in that, I have the cash of 80 rupees and I have the reserve requirements for 20 rupees. So in that, the liability side, the deposit of 100 rupee which remains constant, but in my asset side there is a slight changes, the kind of appropriations have happened there. So the cash is going to be given, it is like going to be given in the form of loan. So I can be able to give the maximum of 80 rupees as a loan. So in my asset side, the loans are 80 rupees, remaining 20 rupees for the reserve purpose. So likewise, the kind of things we have in this credit creation. So what it is assumed that the 80 rupees is given in the form of loan, that the loan is going to be redeposited by the loan account holders. It means the 80 rupee is again infused into the banking system. It means the 80 rupees, again the secondary deposit will be received by the bank. So what is the primary deposit here? What the deposit is collected freshly from the customer side. We call it as primary deposit. Here the primary deposit is 100 rupee. What is the secondary deposit? Is derivative deposit. Once we have disbursed in the form of loan, the loan account holders are expected that the same value of money is going to be redeposited into a bank. So again the 80 rupees is redeposited into a bank. After that also the banks are keeping the portion of reserve. The legal reserve ratios are to be properly maintained by the banks. So again the 16 rupees are kept in the form of legal reserve ratio. It means what? The remaining portion of money, it means the remaining 64 rupees or in the form of loan. We can be able to give the 64 rupees as a loan to the loan account holders. So the loan account holders are receiving 64 rupees. Again what it is expected, that the 64 rupees again it is going to be reinvested or redeposited into a bank. This particular effect will be going on till the derivative deposit values are becoming zero. So it is 100 rupee deposited, it becomes 80 rupees loan, 80 rupees loan are expected, or it is assumed that to be redeposited into a bank, out of which we can have the legal reserve ratio. After deducting that, the 64 rupees are given in the form of loan. After that, it is expected that the 64 rupees will be redeposited into a banking system. It means out of the 64 rupees also we are going to calculate the 20%. It means 12 rupees 80 paise. What we have, this 12 rupees 80 paise is going to be in the form of legal reserve ratio, and the remaining value is going to be given in the form of loan. So this particular process will be going on. So it is, we call it as credit creation. We need to understand on this particular session, you need to understand the effect of money in terms of credit creation, and what would be its coefficient we need to understand in this particular session. So let us start with the introduction of credit creation. It is the RBI produces the money while the commercial banks are increasing the supply of money by creating credit which is also treated as money creation. That is what the credit creation is otherwise called it as a money creation. So normally the central banks are having a rights to printing the currency notes, whereas this particular process will be enhanced, multiplied by the commercial banks. The commercial banks are involving the process where they are increasing the supply of money into a market by means of enhancing their function, enhancing the creditability. Credit of the bank is going to be enhanced by creating the money, and the commercial banks are create in the form of secondary deposits. So you all aware what is primary deposits and what is secondary deposits. The primary deposits are normally what it is deposited by the customer directly to the bank in various types of deposit schemes. But the secondary deposit are the derivative deposits which are derived from the primary deposit. The banks are advancing a major portion of their deposits into a borrower and keep the smaller part of them for the payment of customers on demand. That is what the normally all the portion of deposit is not going to be given in the form of loan. After taking a significant portion of money for the purpose of future, it is for the purpose of the requirement arises when there is a customer is requesting or demanding for their deposit, we need to be in the position to repay. So all the money or all the deposits are not going to be given in the form of loan. After receiving a deposit, we are deducting or we are taking a significant portion of money or significant percentage of money which is prescribed by the central bank. We need to keep it with the central bank. After that, the remaining fund is going to be given in the form of loan. And the deposits we can take, we are dividing the deposits into two major categories, the primary deposits and secondary deposits. The primary deposits are like the initial cash deposit by the public, initial cash deposits by the customers. They are investing into various deposit schemes. So that comes under the primary deposits. So what primarily that the deposits are collected by the banker with the customer is going to be taken care in the primary deposits. And what is the secondary deposits? The secondary deposits are arising due to a loan given by the banks which are assumed to be redeposited in the bank. Whatever the loan given by the banks to its customers, it is assumed that the customers are again going to make deposit of those loan into a bank. So that particular process we call it as the secondary deposits. Normally what the kind of things wherever the deposit is going to be given by the customers to the banks are taking a small portion in the form of legal reserve ratio and the remaining is going to be given in the form of credit. After that, for a period of time, that the customer is going to repay the money to the bank. So in that particular process, the secondary deposits are starting. It is like for the loan, the customers are going to repay, customers are going to pay the monthly installment. So the kind of things are to be received by the bank over the period of time. So which we call it as a secondary deposit. The repayment of loans are like the secondary deposits. What we consider, those repayments are also considered as a secondary deposit. For the secondary deposits also we have a system. We need to take the legal reserve ratio. After that, the remaining portion is again going to be given in the form of loan. So it is a difference between the primary deposits and the secondary deposits. And money creation by the commercial banks is determined in the two important factors called the primary deposit. It is initial cash deposit by the public, and the second important aspect is legal reserve ratio. It is prescribed in the credit policy and it is formulated by the Reserve Bank of India. So it is according to the prevailing condition of economy. This particular legal reserve ratio is determined. Where the legal reserve ratio is high, there should be the kind of money creation will be lower in the market. But if the kind of legal reserve ratio is low, there is a chance the higher level of money creations or money multipliers happens into the economic system, which we call it as the effect of legal reserve ratio. Sometimes the higher legal reserve ratios will make a kind of depressed economic situations where the money tightened in the market, and there is the lower reserve ratios, legal reserve ratios will increase the money supply in the market, will increase the purchasing power, and so sometimes it may also become a problem of creation of inflation and other thing. But even though the money supply will be happen, the money multiplier effect will be happen once there is the legal reserve ratio should be in the lower level. That is the minimum ratio of deposit which is legally compulsory by the commercial banks to keep in the form of liquid. The liquid form is required by the commercial banks to meet out the demand from the customer side. Broadly, when a bank receives a cash deposits from the public, it keeps a fraction of deposits as a cash reserve. We call it as legal reserve ratios, and uses the remaining amount for giving the loan. It is like a 20%. If I have received 100 rupees deposit from the customer, the 20 rupees kept in the form of legal reserve ratio and the 80 rupees given in the form of loan. And the process of credit creation is going on continuously till the derivative deposit, which we call it as the secondary deposit, it becomes a zero. That is what the 100 rupees is going to be deposited. If it is being deposited by the customer into a bank, 20 rupees kept for the liquid purpose are kept in the form of reserve ratio, and 80 rupees given in the form of loan. The 80 rupees expected that to be repaid, that to be deposited into a bank in over the period of time. Again, the 80 rupees is going to be given in the form of loan after deducting the 16 rupees. It is a 20%. 64 rupees is going to be given in the form of loan. Again, it is expected that the 64 rupees is going to be invested into a bank. Again, the bank is going to deduct the 12.8 rupees as a legal reserve ratio. Remaining amount is going to be given in the form of loan by the banks. Until this process will be going on, the derivative deposit, the value of derivative deposit, it becomes zero. So this particular process we call it as credit creation. The total credit creation, if it is like you can take, if the customers are depositing, if you can take one particular customer, so what amount have been deposited by the particular customer, what would be the effect may happen into the banking system? We'll measure by means of taking the concept of total credit creation. If I have given 100 rupees, what would be the money multiplier have happened in the market, which is going to be measured here. It is like original deposit in multiplied with credit multiplier coefficient. The credit multiplier coefficient is calculated 1 divided by R. It is, the R is a cash reserve requirement, which we call it as cash reserve ratio. Say for example, the previous one, you can take, I have deposited 100 rupees into a bank. Out of 100 rupee, 20 rupee kept in the form of cash reserve ratio, or what we call it as legal reserve ratios. Remaining 80 rupees is going to be given in the form of loan. This particular process will be going on until the secondary deposit or derivative deposit values are becoming zero. So this particular process you all aware already, but there is one particular thing you need to know: how much the money will be created by using the value of deposit. So here the cash reserve ratio, or like the legal reserve ratio, in the example I have taken as 20%. It means I am going to calculate the credit multiplier coefficient. It is 1 divided by 20. It is 1 divided by 20. It means the credit multiplier coefficient effects are there in the market. It is 1 divided by 20%. It means 1 divided by 20 divided by 100. It means 100 divided by 20. It means 5 times. So the 5 times of credit multiplier value is 5. Then what may happen in the market? It means if I have deposited 100 rupee, there might be the thing that 100 rupee is going to be multiplied into 500 by the banks. It means 100 multiplied by 5. How we have received the 5? 5 is a credit multiplier coefficient. It is we have calculated at the ratio of 20%. So the 100 rupee of deposit is going to be multiplied into a 500 in the market by the banks. So the particular process will be done by the banks. We call it as credit creation or a money creation. Even we have only 100 rupees in the market. The 100 rupees is going to be multiplied by the bank with the concept of credit multiplier. The loan are given, again the loan are repaid by the customer is on periodical interval. It is going to be deposited into a bank. And those deposits are again is going to be given in the form of loan until the value of secondary deposit it becomes 0. So what would be the cumulative value? What would be the summation of total we are going to give as a bank going to be given in the form of loans to the bank, loans to the industry or loans to the economy we can take. It is multiplied by 5 in this particular case. So the original deposit value is 100 rupee multiplied by 5 is 500 rupee. So the 100 rupee deposit is going to be given in the form of 500 rupee worth of loan in the market. So this process we call it as credit multiplier. It's a credit creation process. It means the multiply which the total deposit increases due to initial deposits. So the initial deposit is a base. After the initial deposit will receive the subsequent deposits from the primary deposit. We call it as a secondary deposit or a derivative deposits. So I'll just explain the same with this particular example. So I just assume that there are different banks in this particular economic system. So if a customer is deposited rupees 100 into the market, 100 into a particular bank. So I have assumed that there are few assumptions are taken in this particular example. The legal reserve ratio or what we consider as required reserves are taken as 10% in this particular example. Okay. And the second one, whatever the loans are given, the 100% of the loans are assumed that going to be redeposited into a bank. So it is in the secondary deposits, 100% I am going to receive. With this assumption, I have taken this particular example. So in this example, you need to understand if in the bank A, the customer deposited 100 rupees. So the bank A has the 10 rupee is a legal reserve ratio. It is kept for the future purpose and the remaining 90 rupee is going to be given in the form of loan. So one particular aspect, one particular process, as we all already aware, the loan is created. The loan is given by the bank A. So what the customer is deciding with that the loan amount is going to be redeposited into a bank B. It is 90 rupees redeposited. With the 90 rupee deposit, bank B is going to take the 10%. It is the value of 9 rupee is kept in the form of cash reserve ratio or legal reserve ratio. Remaining 81 rupee is going to be given in the form of loan. The second form of loan is created here with a secondary deposit. Again, what it is expected, the customer who had received the 81 rupee of loan from the bank is expected to redeposit of the 81 rupee into a bank. So it is assumed that the person is going to deposit the 81 rupee into a bank C. So the bank C is going to take the 10% of the loan, 10% of the deposit they have been taken. The 8.1 rupee has taken as a cash reserve ratio and remaining 72.9 rupee is given in the form of loan. Again, this process will be going on, and the different banks, the customers are making deposits, secondary deposits are to be made by the customers or the loan account holders. Subsequently, what at the end, I can take the all other banks together. What would be the effect in the market? So the total amount of money created by the banking system by means of offering the loan, it together comes as 900 rupee. How it comes 900 rupee? I have calculated the new money created. What is new money created or new money deposited into a bank? It is a secondary deposit. So the secondary deposit value, it becomes 0 until I just calculated this. So at the point where the cumulative point after this 22.88 rupees of new money created at the stage, I have calculated the residual portion, it becomes 205.89 rupee. According to that, the reserve ratios and other things are calculated. So finally, the new money created or the loans given by the banks to the customers is about 900 rupees. So the legal reserve ratio is 10%, and the second assumption I had taken, whatever the loan or given, the 100% of the loan is expected to be redeposited into a banking system. The third important thing what I had taken, I'll just calculate the total money created out of this particular process, or in that the particular process how much the money creation or the credit creation was happened. So together the value I had taken, the 900 rupees are created. Together you can take what the initial deposit. It is the 900 rupees about the secondary deposit, the value of secondary deposit. But what about the primary deposit? So the total money created during this particular process, we are not only taking the derivative effects, derivative deposits effects are not only taken, we are also going to take the primary deposit also into the consideration for the credit creation process or the money creation process. So together I can take the value of primary deposit is 100 rupee, the value of secondary deposit is 900 rupee. Together the total value of money created in this particular process is 1000 rupees. So I will explain this particular concept with this the formula you can take. So here you can take the total credit creation process. It will be calculated in the original deposit multiplied with the credit multiplier coefficient. Again, the credit multiplier coefficient is calculated by 1 divided by R. Here the R is a cash reserve ratio, or it is called it as legal reserve requirement. So which is fixed by the RBI. I just have assumed that is a 10%. Taken the example, for that the example I have taken as 10%. It means 1 divided by 10%. It means 1 divided by 10 divided by 100. It means 100 divided by 10. It is 10 times there is a credit multiplier effect. If it is a 20%, 5 times. If it is a 10%, is a 10 times. It means whenever there is the reserve is increasing, the multiplier effect will become reduced. When there is the reduced reserves are increasing the credit multiplier effect in the market. If there is the reduced reserve ratios, the banks capacity is increased in the market, the banks can able to offer more credit into the market. So the 20% of reserves can create the 5 times effect, but the 10% of effect which can create the 10 times effect into the market. So I'll just calculate the total credit creation process. Original deposit multiplied the credit multiplier effect or credit multiplier coefficient. The credit multiplier coefficient is 10 times and the original deposit is 100 rupee. It means the total credit creation is 1000 rupees in the market. So this is what we have calculated here also. The 900 rupee is a derivative effect, 900 rupee is a derivative deposit, and we are calculating the total credit created is based on the primary deposits plus secondary deposits. The value of primary deposit is 100 rupee and the value of secondary deposit is 900 rupee. Together the total value of credit created is 1000 rupees. The next important topic we need to know about the limitations of credit creation process. So we know that what is credit creation, how the credit creation process is done by the banks with the norms fixed by the Reserve Bank of India. We are all aware of that. And there are some limitations which is associated with the credit creation process, which we divided into the different categories, or like the amount of cash reserve ratio, leakages. We can take the business conditions, availability of securities, availability of borrowers, or the major limitations we have taken here in this credit creation process. So this credit creation limitations are like the first one, amount of cash. It is affect the creation of credit by the commercial banks. The higher cash of commercial banks in the form of public deposits, more will be a credit creation. So this particular thing, whatever the deposits we have received, it means the commercial banks are receiving from the public, out of which the credit creation process will be determined. So the first limitation is amount of cash, amount of deposit what received by the commercial banks from its customers. It means we can say in other terms is a initial deposits or a primary deposits. Amount of cash, it in terms it is implies that the primary deposits what we have collected from the public, and the same is going to be given in the form of loan. If we are receiving a more deposit, the more credit is going to be created in the market. So this is the thing we need to understand from this. First limitation is availability of cash or availability of deposit, exclusively the availability of primary deposits. And the second important limitation is cash reserve ratio. The cash reserve ratio is fixed by the Reserve Bank of India. It is formulating based on the credit policy. Based on the credit policy, it is measuring the flow of credit into an economy. So the credit policy is determining the cash reserve ratio according to the market situation, according to the economic conditions. It is decided. It refers to the reserve ratio of cash that need to be kept with the central bank by the commercial banks. So normally you can take the prevailing rate of cash reserve ratio. Whatever the deposits are received by the commercial bank, a portion of deposits should be deposited into a central bank by the commercial banks, which we call it as a cash reserve ratio. For example, if it is like a 10%, if I have received 100 rupee, out of 100 rupee deposit, the 10 rupee should be deposited by the commercial banks to the RBI, Reserve Bank of India. So it is not essential that the commercial banks are always going to make deposit into a RBI. The commercial banks are going to deposit in the State Bank of India or any other bank which is prescribed by the Reserve Bank. They can be able to make deposit or depositing the value of cash reserves. The cash reserves is calculated on the basis of total deposit held in the particular bank during the given period of time. It is calculated. If there is a more cash reserve ratio which affect the credit multiplier effect. And the third important limitation is about the leakages. The leakages are like withdrawals, is like the outflow. It implies that the outflow of cash, the credit creation process may suffer out of the leakage of cash. So the leakages may happen. Sometimes it is not able to estimate the leakages. Sometimes if the customer may not be able to deposit the money into a bank, the banks are having a kind of a problem. There is no inflow of deposit, then they are not able to concentrate on giving loans in the market. So you can take the present situation of the COVID pandemic situation, what it is happens in the economy, the people are having a hesitation to deposit the money into a bank. So the banks are not able to go for further credit process. Banks are not able to go for further the creation of loans is not possible. Hence what RBI is doing, RBI is reducing the reserve ratio, thereby they can have some amount of liquid fund is going to be given in the form of loan by the commercial banks to the customers. So the leakages are also need to be considered biggest limitation for the creation of credit. So these leakages are going to be divided into two major categories, two important types. First one is excess reserves. Second one, the currency drains. The excess reserves are like going to be happen when there is the kind of the increase in the percentage of cash reserves by the central bank, which is going to reduce the power of commercial banks to offer the loan. So this is about the excess reserves. And the currency drains, the people tendency do not make the kind of deposits into a bank. The banks are not able to provide the further loan is a kind of a problem. So these two things comes under the category of the leakages. Again, somewhat time there might be the problem in the secondary deposits if it is not being properly repaid. If it is not being properly deposited, also become a problem. So whatever the inflow of cash, we expected that the same level of outflow of cash is expected to be inflow in future time. So it is expected in this leakages. If there is any problem in this particular aspect, in this flow of credit, we call it as leakages. The next one is a business condition. Implies that the credit creation is insufficient by cyclical nature of an economy. Second one, that the credit creation would be small when the economy enter into a depression phase. Depression phase is also a problem. So the depression phase where the money circulation is limited, there is no money circulation in the economy, hence the banks are not able to offer the loan. Banks are also urging the people to repay the loan into the market, into the system. So the kind of things are also become a problem, like a kind of cyclical nature of an economy, kind of a depression happen. It's a kind of inflationary situation is what prevailing. Certain increase in the prices of raw material, fuel charges, everything is going to affect the business. If the business conditions are to be affected, is directly going to affect the credit creation process. And the availability of securities. It is whenever we are going to disburse the loan, the loans are packed with the securities, the collateral securities which has been packed with the loans. So those securities are also the important aspect whenever we are going for the further refinement process, further credit creation, it is essential. The availability of credit of securities is necessary for granting of loan, otherwise the credit creation will not be occur. So if the people are not having a proper credit history or not having a proper security for getting the loan, the banks are not able to offer the loan, even though a bank has some portion of fund. So that also become a problem. The availability of security will be the reason for the credit creation. If there is no availability of securities, if the people are not having a proper security to be submitted as a collateral for getting loan, then this particular process is also difficult to the banks for offering the loans to its customer. And the availability of borrower, the credit created by the lending of money in the form of loans to the borrowers, there will be no credit creation if there is no borrowers are available in the market. If the people are not interested to get the loans from the bank, since you can take the kind of depressed phase or a kind of inflationary situation, what it is happened in the economy, there is all the sectors of economy is affected in this particular process. The banks are also not able to offer the credit. Even though banks are offering the credit, the banks are charging the higher interest rate for the loans. If the loans they are charging the higher interest rate, the people are not interested to get the loan from the bank. So there is no borrower, there is no need we are going to create the credit. Credit creation is also not possible in this particular aspect. Thank you.